What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. This is Living to Learn. If this is not your first time here, you know that this is a different angle than we're used to. And if this is your first time on my channel, welcome. Thank you for being here. Subscribe if you think that what I'm sharing is worth it. And share the videos with anyone you think might benefit from what I'm discussing today. And you know, I'm doing something a little bit different because why not? That's what we got to do, right? You got to change it up. You got to switch it up. You got to try some different stuff here and there. Can't do the same thing all the time, right? And not to mention, I was introduced to public speaking. I was introduced to teaching, to instructing, standing at a platform. So kind of getting back to my roots here. But before we go forward, again, in the description of the video, my TikTok and Instagram handle, @LiveToLearnCoaching. You can follow me there for more content. You can reach out to me there if you have a suggestion. You want to leave a nice remark. You want to leave some constructive criticism. I'm all for it. Reach out to me there, @LiveToLearnCoaching, TikTok and Instagram. Also in the description of the video, 3 opportunities to donate, to support my channel financially. That is not something that you have to do. But there have been people who have taken their support that far. And to you, I am grateful and I do appreciate it. And I want to say thank you. And if that's something you feel led to do, you want to do that, you think, hey, I can, maybe I can help this guy out. Maybe I like what he's doing here. And I just want to make sure you can continue to do it. The opportunity is there, but you don't have to. Now let's get started. What have we been talking about this year? I had a series in January called Will I Be Successful in 2025? But you know, that was the series name, but it's really an overall theme for this year. Will I be successful? What's it going to take for me to be successful? And everything that I'm going to put out this year, everything that I'm going to give you on this channel, on all my platforms, it's going to revolve around that, right? It's going to revolve around that, the idea that, hey, I can be successful, just will I be? And how can I be, right? Now, there's a lot going on in our world, especially if you live in the United States. You know, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on economically. We've just got a new president. There's a ton of things going on. Not only that, something else that's been happening even longer than that and a lot faster is these technological breakthroughs, specifically AI, artificial intelligence, and what it's been able to do. And what are some of the threats to the job market, to people's usual way of life? Now, why do I bring this up right away? Well, because here's the thing. I know who I'm talking to. I know who my audience is. My audience are human beings just like myself. People that go to work, people that have bills, people that have families, people that go to school, just live life in society. And so we all understand, we all have a similar understanding of things. Whether or not our opinions differ, and they're going to. We're going to have different points of view on everything. We all kind of understand what this entails. And, you know, I haven't mentioned this quote in a long time, and I wanted to mention it again because it was very impactful to me. And it comes from a book called Future Shock. I've never read the book, I'll be honest with you. And the author is a man named Alvin Toffler. And what Alvin Toffler says, and he quoted this in his book, and this is something that stuck with me for a long time now. He said, and I guess the book's talking about the future. What he says is this: the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write. The illiterate of the 21st century will be those who are unable to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Let me say it again. The illiterate of the 21st century will be those who are unable to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Now, why am I talking about this? I just discussed the whole AI thing because there's been a lot of talk going around, social media, a lot of people putting things out there, feeling threatened by artificial intelligence. Now, I don't know how real of a threat it is, how actual of a threat it's going to be. One thing I know is this: the world is constantly changing. And what maybe worked 20 years ago won't necessarily work 20 years from now. That I know for sure. I was actually talking to a close friend of mine who was explaining to me some of the transitions that their company's going through. And now this person works for a company that has been long established. If I was to give their name on here, everybody watching would know who I'm talking about. Long established as a leader in freight shipping and just all kinds of things. And he's talking to me how he's in management. He's talking to me how they've been downsizing, how they're shifting all types of things around. A lot of the perks and benefits that used to be affiliated with this type of job that was just went hand in hand. Like, hey, people go work here because of this, right? People work here because you're only paying, such and such amount of dollars a month for XYZ insurance, right? And just, it had all these benefits that are now going away. And so, I feel for someone like this. Now, this person that I was speaking to, they happen to have a growth mindset. They're saying, hey, I know I'm going to have to transition. And this person's older than myself. And I know it's hard to change my ways at my age. I can't imagine 20 years from now, right? So shout out to them because they're taking this in the right approach. They're not going to sit back and say, well, maybe they'll change things back to the way they used to be, because that's just not reality. That's not reality. Now, let me share another quote with you that was also very impactful. You may have heard this before. It's actually been attributed to Charles Darwin, but nobody knows for sure if he actually said this. But here's the quote. It's not the species that is the strongest or the smartest that survives or that moves on. It is the species who is able to adapt. Let me say that again. It's not the species that is the strongest or the smartest that survives. It is the one that's able to adapt. It's the one that is able to say, I'm coming up on something that's going to require me to approach it differently than I ever have anything else prior to this. Now, that is a tough thing to do. It's a tough thing to do. I know, listen, wanting to be comfortable, wanting to be settled, especially when it comes to career, especially when you're someone like me who's bounced around all over the place. I've been at so many new hire orientations. I've had so many different positions. I've worked in so many different jobs. I'm not that person that has worked at the same company for 25 years. I'm not that guy. I don't think I'll ever be that guy. But I gotta admit, getting older, you get tired of it. Like, I just want to be comfortable. And I get that. But comfortable does not guarantee survival. Adaptability does. So let me circle back to the whole AI thing. Whether it's AI or whether it's something else, things are changing. The sooner you and I embrace that and start to work on ourselves, how can I become adaptable? How do I adapt to this? How do I adapt to the unknown? How can I prepare? So let me give you some advice. Number one, start to look around at other opportunities. If you're in an industry right now that is downsizing, that's changing, because there's just not a need anymore, or as much of a need for that type of service, right? Technology's changed a lot of things. Technology has made the world smaller. It's been doing it for a long time, but it's been rapidly moving over the last few years. So if you're in an industry, this is not the time to double down and get comfortable and to say, well, maybe they won't, mess with us. That's unrealistic. If you want to think that way, you can, but that's unrealistic. Start to look around. What is next? What is potentially next? Because here's the exciting thing about this. Because a lot of times we focus on the sad part. We focus on the change. We focus on the disruption. We focus on it's no longer going to be the way it was. But here is what is exciting. This is what I want you to buy into, if you'll be willing to buy into it. Here's what I want you to buy into. I want you to buy into the idea that this is going to be exciting. Because you're making yourself, you're relying on yourself. You're making it a goal, an intention to be adaptable. You're saying, I'm going to be adaptable. I'm ready for whatever comes. even if I'm not ready. I'm going to do what I can to make myself ready, or as ready as possible, right? I'm not saying we're going to see the future. We're not going to have the answer for everything. Something's always going to happen unforeseen. That's life. That's just how it works. But this is exciting because now you get to see a side of yourself. I get to see a side of myself that I otherwise maybe would have never met. I would have never seen that person. And maybe the rooms that I'm going to walk into and the places that I'm going to find myself, I would have never found myself there if I wasn't willing to adapt to either what I know is coming or what I suspect may be coming, or just in case. Because I know one thing, there's always going to be a space for people who have a desirable skill, who have a value, who come to the table with something that other people need. I don't think we can ever have enough motivational speakers. I don't think we can ever have enough teachers. I don't ever think we can have enough coaches. Someone's voice, everyone's voice, is unique, and someone needs to hear yours. And some industry that you've never even thought of is waiting for you to open your eyes, to give in to the possibility that I should be preparing for change. I'm going to become adaptable. I'm going to adapt. I'm not going to let things happen to me. I'm going to take action first. I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to get after it first. And that's what I would encourage you to do. And that's what I want you to think about throughout this entire year as things progress. Don't be frightened. Don't be worried. Instead, spend that energy becoming adaptable. Whatever that means, whatever that entails, you've got to decide that. And if you need to reach out to someone like myself to help you kind of filter some of these options and kind of just get in, just move things around and kind of see it a little more clear, by all means, reach out. That's what people like me are here for. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.